You're gonna go ahead.
I actually, dad bods. I mean, it's not that that's attractive to me. What's really attractive to me is humor. And the fact that they are comfortable with themselves, even though they know they ain't, you know, they're not a thunder down under guy. That's sexy to me. Like that's hot that you can live within yourself, even if you're not super fit, and make me laugh.
So how old are you?
There is still a minimum level of like height, physical attractiveness, like level of charisma that he has to meet. This is one of the things, because girls leave these fucking weird signals that really throw dudes off when they're like, yeah, I just care that he treats me well, and it's okay if he has a dad bod. And then I look at who you date, and I'm like, no, that linebacker you're dating doesn't have a dad bod. Like, you're saying,
down under.
You're saying shit that isn't true, and it's really frustrating for dude. It's really frustrating. Do you understand how frustrating it is?
Yeah, if they really like dad bods, then men who are not in shape and are on dating apps would be getting all the matches and all the swipes. But it's the guys who are in shape, the guys who are good looking, the guys who are dressing well, who get all the matches and get the swipes. So, you know, they say that they like the dad bods, but when they get online on dating apps, they swipe on the guys who are looking good and in shape. So it's confusing. What's up, guys? Boogie back again. So today's video I'm going to be reviewing the title says how attractive women meet the men they are going to date, but the real content of the video is about, do women actually like dad bods? So as a former personal trainer, you know, I was in the business of trying to get guys in shape, men and women, right? But if women are saying they're attracted to dad bods and they're not attracted to men who are in shape, then what's the point of working out, right, as men, right? Because almost everything men do indirectly leads to attracting women. But let's get into it.
I want to point one thing out here, though. So each one of you have said the last person that you've been with has been you met through friends. That's like exceptionally rare right now, because when you look at the stats, the number one way that men and women meet, of course, is online through Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, that kind of stuff. What's been on the decline is meeting your next boyfriend, maybe your husband, via the church, through your family, through your friends, through school, through work. All of that's been on the decline really since about 2010. And then the one thing that's been spiking, of course, has been online dating. All right. Yeah. So hear me out. I think here's a theory for you. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. The higher the level of attractiveness of the woman, the more likely it is that she will meet that guy through friends, as opposed to like the more average woman is going to be the one that is going to be on Tinder, that's going to make those hookups on there. Do you think that's
one more time?
Do you think that's plausible?
The average?
Well, so more elite level women, like let's just say very attractive women, don't meet men through they meet them through friends, clearly.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
rather,
my point.
Rather than the average woman who is statistically meeting the guys that they're with through Tinder. So
I don't think the average woman meets guys through Tinder. I really don't. I still think it's through normal.
I've got the stats.
You think the average girl? I think the average girl meets guys through social media, through internet.
Yeah, okay.
So when you count,
Instagram,
I think if we were to count Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be social media. Most people meet through social media these days. And for social media, I'm going to count dating apps too. So whether it's Instagram, Facebook, social media, TikTok, whichever way, as long as it's an app and it has a messaging or inbox function, that's how most people meet, right? Because with social media, you can meet as many people as you want, even out way beyond your borders or way beyond your country. So I think that's how most people meet. The times of meeting in college and stuff, people still do that. But for the most part, even the people in college still have access to social media. So they're still going to meet way more people on social media than in college, because they don't go to every department or every, school, so it's always going to be social media.
Together, it's the number one online.
It's 10 times more than it would be Bumble, Tinder, and Hinge together. I think Instagram alone would be 10 times more. Just when you look at none of those three dating apps have 1 billion active users, and Instagram has 2 billion. I don't think it's even close.
So let me clarify, why am I making this theory here? Is because what I think is a lot of guys see those stats and they see that the average woman is meeting the average guy online. And so what I have found out is through like very attractive women say, well, he had the balls to come up and actually approach me. He had the balls to actually say, hey, well, let's go be friends, go see a show or something together. Mm-hmm. He actually, and that right now I think is like what's called playing to the meta, right? Everybody else is doing like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, and it'd be so nice if a guy would just have the, sack up and like, ask me out on a date kind of thing. That becomes novel.
Yeah, most of the guys that I dated, I told them to fuck off so many times, but they were consistent. They were persistent. So I liked that. I was like, okay, I've told you to fuck off. You're still around. I'll give you a shot.
Yeah, it's like I always.
Yeah, but that sounds like you're having pity on him, like you're doing him a favor. I think it should be that. Now, realistically, I would rather people like each other and they just get along, right? But I know realistically that will never happen. Right? Everyone is trying to play a game. But I would rather, instead of, if you don't like somebody, tell them you don't like them and they should take it. So for the man, if a woman says she doesn't like you, she's not into you, move on. But for the women, ladies, if you like a man and he has come to you, if you like a man, he hasn't come to you, sure, if you're scared, don't do nothing about it. But if he has come to you and you like him, rather than trying to make him chase, I think that's one of the leading causes of where we are. Because now the guy is going to chase. And then he realizes once he figures out that they just made him chase, how is he going to act on the next girl he meets? Once he sees that, he's like, oh, the last one made me chase. I'm not chasing anymore. And then the ladies will be like, oh, men are not approaching us anymore. And then the men are like, but when we approach you, you reject us and you want us to chase and we don't want to chase. So it's a back and forth, which is crazy, but I guess that's a world we live in right now.
Say it's like when it comes to men, it's like if you want me, come and get me.
Right.
Like make it known.
Yeah.
That's some alpha shit. Like if you want me, come and
I was gonna say that's the number one thing.
Wait, you saying that or he's saying that?
No, like, I'm saying like if he wants me,
for sure, you got to put in some effort, for sure.
Some effort.
Yeah, but there is still a minimum level of like height, physical attractiveness, like level of charisma that he has to meet. This is one thing because girls leave these fucking weird signals that really throw dudes off when they're like, yeah, I just care that he treats me well, and it's okay if he has a dad bod. And then I look at who you date, and I'm like, no, that linebacker you're dating doesn't have a dad bod. Like, you're saying,
down under.
You're saying shit that isn't true, and it's really frustrating for dude. It's really frustrating. You understand how frustrating it is?
Yeah, if they really like dad bods, then men who are not in shape and are on dating apps would be getting all the matches and all the swipes. But it's the guys who are in shape, the guys who are good looking, the guys who are dressing well, who get all the matches and get the swipes. So, they say that they like the dad bods, but when they get online, on dating apps, they swipe on the guys who are looking good and in shape. So it's confusing, right? So it's confusing because they say this and then they like the other. So I think as a man, what you would rather do is be in shape. First of all, you're going to be in shape for your own health, but at the same time, at least it builds discipline to some sort, right? And then you're going to look good, right? Sure, but one thing that they're never going to say is that the dad bod looks good. They're going to say we're attracted to it, but they will never say it looks good or it looks better than the guy who's in shape. That's for sure.
For men, I remember when I had Elizabeth Chevalier on here on my podcast, and she's telling me all these qualities of men that she wants to date, and then she talks about her ex, and he's like, yeah, he's a narcissist. I'm like, wait, you just told me the fucking qualities of the man you want to date, and the guy that you're dating is none of those things. And I was like, just stop for a second. Be a man listening to you right now. Do you understand how confusing this is and how fucking frustrating this is? Listening to you guys tell us what you want in a man, and then going after fucking Chad from Thunder from Down Under. Do you understand the problem?
Okay.
As I said, it came out of my mouth. Chad from
well, I tell you, so like what you're saying about like
Chippendales.
How confusing this shit is. It's like what happens then is like when you hear like very exceptionally attractive women say like, oh yeah, I'm into the dad bod, and you know damn well that they're really not into it. I think it was on our very first show. We were sitting here and I was making this comparison. I was saying, what calendar sells the most? Is it the Thunder from Down Under calendar or Chippendales calendar, or is it the dad bod calendar? Which one outsells the other one when it really comes down to it? And honest truth is it's going to be the hot guy, and the hot fireman calendar is going to be what's going to outsell. So there is an arousal factor that I think that we kind of just have to clear the air and just like call bullshit, cut the shit kind of thing. But so when we're talking about like the dad bod thing, or we're talking about like, oh yeah, I'm really into a guy who's into puppy dogs and rainbows and has to be funny and everything. There's that aspect where guys realize that, okay, maybe there's something to that, but for the most part, what they're seeing online is they're seeing like beautiful women getting with beautiful guys, right?
For all of us, when you do this, but women will say that shit. And again, you can't you can't ask the deer how to catch the deer, right?
Someone's gonna do something. I know where you're gonna go. Go ahead.
I actually, dad bods. I mean, it's not that that's attractive to me. What's really attractive to me is humor. And the fact that they are comfortable with themselves, even though they know they ain't, they're not a Thunder Down Under guy. That's sexy to me. Like that's hot that you can live within yourself, even if you're not super fit, and make me laugh.
So how old are you?
I'm 28.
28.
She's lying, bro. Like, no girl is gonna. It doesn't make any sense. So she's saying she won't mind that you have a dad bod as long as you make her laugh. But for how long? Because you're not going to make her laugh every minute. But she for sure is going to look at you being out of shape every day. Right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe a thing she says. Right? Because she's a good looking lady herself. She's in pretty good shape. There's no way she's going to get with a guy who has a dad bod, a guy who's out of shape. And if she goes to the gym, she's not going to be the same and watching you if you don't go to the gym. Right? She's not going to be okay with it. So you also, if she's going to the gym, she will encourage you to go to the gym as well. So if she said, I don't mind a dad bod as long as he's willing to work on it, I would have believed her. But for her to say, as long as it makes me laugh, no, I don't think so. I don't believe her.